I dreamt a dream. A dream so real, I don't know which reality is correct. Neither, actually. Neither. Because in oneness, neither of these realities exist. But in this dream, I was standing, and in the air was a white moth, and next to it was a little fly-like bug with a red center. And I swept my hands through the air to grab them both. Instead, I grabbed a net that became visible, that wasn't there. And it wrapped around both of these little insects. And yet I wasn't really touching them because there was a mesh there. And then I realized I could see undulating a whole bunch of other woven veils that I had not seen before. Everything was encompassing them. And what I had been doing was looking for someone. It was someone I knew that was bothering me for some reason. And I remember thinking beforehand, and this is when I started piecing it together, I had said, God, she is so annoying. I wish she wasn't here. So what was I doing? I was looking for her, trying to find out what happened to her. So it was almost like she ceased to exist. And this went on in the dream, where I was talking to people and then realizing that what I had thought created what was appearing. But it was what I had previously thought in an unconscious manner. There were so many intricate parts of this, so many levels. But I just want to get to the basics of it. What I realized was everybody in this so-called dream I was having was only a character I put there that I could change at any time. And what it was showing me is my links to the thoughts I had had to create that visual reality. And yet none of it was real. And I was gathering pieces together. And people were in it that were saying, what are you talking about? Like they would in this world. You're crazy. What are you talking about? And I tried to explain that it was only my world, my dream, and they didn't really exist, and that I could change their existence in it. I could change the events of my life based on what I was watching on the internet, what I was seeing and believing. I realized that everything I had tapped into was just part of that dream that I put in place and made it solid. But it wasn't real. None of it was real. None of it even existed. I was watching myself in the dream. And that was another thing. I was the observer. I saw myself in the entire dream. Oh, there were so many levels and so many characters in this dream. So many happenings. But what was really noteworthy and important for me was that it was all this mesh that when I reached my hand out, I could feel it and touch it. I could also see as my hands moved to different aspects of the veil where my new business had taken off with a bang. And the first couple days there were so many orders, I became in overwhelm. I realized that I was now a slave to my own creation. that I no longer would have the freedom to go where I wanted to, when I wanted to, because not only was I responsible for the shipping, I was now responsible for creating the oils. It was very interesting to watch how that pattern of mindset put into play a different reality, where it became then a struggle for our company to keep going forward. If I had chosen a different mindset, one of the heart instead of the mind, I would have looked at it and said, "This is amazing. Show me how to do this eloquently and with ease and grace." But once again in my life, I had let the mind control something that it had no business dealing with. The mind has no solutions. It can come up with problems. It can block you. It can make things difficult. It can lead you to fear and anxiety. But it won't give you the answers if you're looking for ease and grace and beauty and joy. That can only come from the divine heart. And that is what I had blocked. Yes, it can have an idea, but it needs to then get out of the way. It doesn't matter, because people won't believe what I'm saying anyway. They will think I'm the only one in existence, and they don't exist. They don't really exist. Only I exist. Well, here's the thing. I don't exist. It's just the dream. The dreamer is dreaming. And that dreamer is not me. That dreamer is not you. You're just being dreamt. And how do I explain? You can't. You can't. Everything that's happened through this pandemic and the riots and just everything is some part of a deeper desire for something, to shake things up so bad they have to burn down and rise like the phoenix, because the story became so complex. And the production of duality needed to end. But what I was shown was a figure 8 lying on its side. It was like the infinity symbol. And yet, one was light, one was dark, one was right, one was left. Saint and the demon. One claimed rightness to make the other wrong. One was pain and suffering, one was joy. But the duality had stretched so far that it was about to snap. And in the snapping, it turned. This 8 on its side twisted. And what I saw was now oneness. A circle where all those things came together. So duality had ended. I thought if I spoke of it when I first woke, I could articulate what I witnessed. I could make sense of it, and it could bring clarity to others. Knowing there is no other, layers upon layers as I speak are not even truth, because it has left the I out and still speaks from the human mind and not consciousness itself. And there's an absolute knowing within me, but I can't describe it. How can I share that? Okay, everything the mind has wanted now, because the mind is tired of the game. It's so tired of the game. It needed to have a timeout. It needed for the earth to revitalize herself. It needed to burn everything down to start again, because the dream was so convoluted and distorted from the original intention of the free will experiment. How can I make sense of that in words? So none of it exists except what we keep putting into the play through the mind that's trying to fix it. And yet none of that is right, because this dream is just a dream within a dream. And the dreamer is calling us home, where a new dream will begin, but this time it will be led by the divine heart as creator consciousness itself continues to expand. So what do you believe? Dream or reality?